getting ready to do some mulch work tomorrow. Pulled all the weeds today, and I came up with a problem. Now, I thought about putting a new tube in it. That would have been the cheapest option. But instead, I got this solid rubber tire. No flat. And decided we'll give that a try. I put one on a much smaller wheelbarrow, and I'm fairly happy with it. I will have the one pneumatic tire. This is a dual tire system. So I'll have one pneumatic tire on one side and then the solid rubber on the other. So I'll really be able to tell and get a feel for either one. But I'm already seeing I'm probably going to have some issues. But they give you spacers, so hopefully it won't be too big of an issue. One of the things that I've learned through this experience is when you're going to buy a tube or a tire or anything, know the diameter from here on the outside to here on the outside. And also probably measure, and it goes, the thickness of the tire goes from the inside of the rim to the outside wall here, and the thickness of the rim actually goes to the inside of the rim. So this was 8-inch rim, which I found, and then the tire, I had called my wife to measure it because I didn't realize that when I was over at Menards, and it was 15 and 16, so I was a little weary if she measured it properly. But she did, from what I can tell, from stacking it up on the other side. And we should hopefully be able to have everything that we need that way. If this no flat becomes a problem, it shouldn't be too big of a problem because all I have to do is get a tube for the old tire. And that should do it. Yeah, that doesn't do it. So, I need more spacing on the inside for sure. So maybe I have to figure out something different for spacing in the meantime that becomes the issue, or the spacers. But other than that, I don't have to replace another tube. Way too many of those recently. And I really won't have to replace the tube in that one because it's solid rubber. But I don't know how well it's going to handle. This thing is big. I bought this new, $100. Roughly, on sale. Got how many cubic feet it is or anything, that kind of thing. But it actually doesn't seem to be rolling too bad. Maybe just cut a piece of conduit or something for a spacer. And probably do it, even with that one solid tire. I mean, I can feel it from here, but it's really kind of bouncy. The one side that is pneumatic seems to be low, and I did let some air out, so I think I might pump that back up. That seems better. Now, once we actually get it on the grass, we'll be able to test it a little better. So, one little crisis averted. So I did earlier this season buy a wheelbarrow. It isn't quite as large as this one, but it was one heck of a deal over at Home Depot. And I have a backup wheelbarrow that was really, really tiny. Like really, really tiny, like the smallest that you can get that's an adult size. I picked up on Facebook Marketplace for $15. Anyways, it was a true temper. But I got it to replace that one as kind of like the backup wheelbarrow. It's still a pretty decent size. I think it's like 5 cubic feet or something like that. I think this one's 8. So it's still pretty decent size. If I had gotten this tomorrow, that's what I would have done. I would have just used that other wheelbarrow. But I decided to run out and try to get this one patched up and fixed. And we will, and like I said, I might just figure out a better solution for the spacers. Maybe cut a piece of conduit or something of the proper length to make it work or something like that. But it seems to be holding pretty well, and we'll see how well it does tomorrow with the non-pneumatic tire on it. I have used solid rubber tires before. I actually used it on that little one. Actually, that one has the same size wheel as the 5 cubic, but but that's what I did, is I put a solid rubber tire on that thing because it was just such a pain. I was dealing with tubes galore, so I just put the solid rubber in, then I don't have to mess with it ever again. So that's what I decided to do with this one, just the idea that I don't have to mess with that ever again as far as punctures or anything like that. We'll see how well it handles, because it's a lot larger than the other one. You might wonder what I have to do with the trailer. Truth is that these wood sides have to come off, and new ones got to go up. I need solid sides on the trailer so I can haul about 2 yards of mulch, both by weight and capacity with the 2-foot sides that I have. So I noticed I somehow, for some reason, took these things apart a little bit more than I anticipated I did when I put it away last season. And so I'm going to have to rebuild some sides. But I have most of the materials that I need. I'll scrounge around and see if I can find whatever else I need. I already took the 2 bolts out of the front here. So this sucker's ready to come out, I think. Take a little persuasion. Now you can see I pretty much have a flat bed. So to get this other side off, and then you'll see I'll put this other side down. I have a hard side that I can use to haul loose materials like dirt or mulch. 2 yards of mulch, like I said, would probably max out this trailer. 1 yard of dirt would probably max out this trailer. So it doesn't hold a lot, but I don't have to rent a trailer to do this. guys down south are like, well, why don't you sell them pine straw? Pine straw doesn't fly in this area. So pine and evergreens in general tend to be very acidic. And down south, your plants tend to like a little acidic soils. Up here, our plants like everything very neutral. So if you start putting a lot of pine mix and stuff like that in there, the plants don't want to grow. One of the best parts about pine trees, especially up here, is they're basically self-mulching. So you don't even have to worry about anything growing underneath them. Everything really likes the neutral, everything likes to be neutral, like the 7 pH. So pine straw does not work. I wouldn't even know where to go to buy it, to be honest with you, other than drive south. But so yeah, pine straw might be easier to move. It's lighter, I'm sure, but mulch is king around here. So you got to set everything up for mulch. Why am I not loading more of my tools onto the trailer? Well, there's a reason why I'm leaving that rack clear and why I'm not. I'm just putting the wheelbarrow in there. I got to remember to take the wheelbarrow out before they load it with mulch. I also need to get mulch in the bed. What I'm going to try to do is get all the tools in the back seat of my truck, so I don't have all this stuff to take out of the trailer before I get loaded with mulch. The other reason why I'm not using the rack, I think that would be convenient, right? Mulch isn't supposed to go there, but the mulch makes a huge mess. I'm going to be cleaning it up for months off the back of my truck, off this trailer. It just goes everywhere. You'd be surprised the kind of crevices that this stuff finds. All they do is they take a big bucket and just dump it straight over into the top. So this will help me at least get to 2 of my 3 yards of mulch, and then 1 yard goes in the bed, and most of the tools will go in the back seat. So, except for the wheelbarrow, I just got to remember to take that out because they will just bury that thing in mulch. They don't care. So, hopefully, I've been having some issues with the wheel bearing, so hopefully that holds up. That's for a later video when we get into all the repair seasons, or the season for the repair. We're going to talk about some of the issues I've been having with that. But ultimately, I have my trailer now all set up with the solid sides. This 2-foot 4x8 will hold about 2 yards of mulch. And the bed of the pickup truck will hold about 2 yards as well. I don't like to do more than 4 just because of weight reasons. It's bad enough. I mean, that's like almost a ton of mulch, like 1 ton of mulch. And I've actually done that in the back of the truck alone, at least on a pallet. And your brakes are awful. This trailer doesn't have brakes either, but at least the weight is a little bit more dispersed. So it's a little bit easier to deal with 2 yards here and 2 yards in the bed, but we don't even need quite that much. So that being said, because of what this trailer's weight we're rated for, I could probably only get about 2 yards into this trailer. So without that, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to load up the back of the truck, and tomorrow we'll go ahead and get some mulch. Prep my load here, I will do just a voiceover to give you a few tips about getting bulk mulch.
What I'm doing right now is just leveling out all the mulch in the bed and in the trailer, getting better weight distribution for everything. That just helps with it rolling down the road a little bit easier. And what I'll actually do is when I get into the trailer, I'll pull up the mulch from the back, try to move it up towards the front, so I got more weight distributed uh, between the tongue and the axle of the trailer as opposed to hanging off the back of it. But coming into some tips, when you pull up to get the mulch, make sure all your windows are rolled up. There's little debris. If you look on that bed rail right there, oh, it just moved right there. There's just little light debris that just flows in the wind and it will just inundate the interior of your vehicle. So you want to make sure to close your windows, just keep all that junk outside as opposed to inside. The other thing too is know your trailer weights. Know your truck weights, know how much mulch you can actually handle. I was actually talking to the guy loading the mulch. He was a little nervous with my Harbor Freight trailer because I guess they had somebody come in the yard for it. They loaded it up and they drove off. And well, he was actually looking underneath the bottom of my trailer to make sure everything was set up right because they pulled out and they lost the axle off their trailer. So that really stinks to lose an axle on your trailer, especially when you got a full load of mulch. It just makes a huge mess and it just kind of stinks. I'm still dealing with the bad wheel bearing, but it looks like it's going to hold up. So, well, we'll finish this up and go ahead and hit the road.
They managed to keep this backpack pretty clean. I'm impressed. That's usually got like a pile of mulch on it. Okay, got everything loaded up. Looks like the trailer's holding well. We'll see what happens when we move it. So far, going through the yard, I haven't heard anything, but that can change. It all really just kind of depends how well that bearing's going to hold up. But not too concerned. So one of the things I did is I just redistributed the weight of the mulch, trying to get the brunt of it in between the tongue and the axle. With it on the axle, it tended to be back heavy. So, anyways, we'll get on to the location. Okay, I just wanted to stop and take a second to talk about, well, mulch. Now, let me just flip you around and we'll take a look at the mulch. This stuff will start leveling out a little bit too. You don't have to go crazy when leveling it out, because this stuff will level itself out. In the trailer, it'll actually compact as it drives down the road. So, I don't know if you can see this, but it actually is moving downward. And you just get your stuff and, you know, your rakes and your bedding forks and stuff, and it'll air out again very easily. But what it is it'll lock together, and then you don't really need to worry about it blowing out and everything like that after it's locked together. And look at this mulch. This is absolutely beautiful mulch. Look at that. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous mulch here. This is from Central Tree in Pingree Grove, Illinois. We're running a little late, so I don't want to take too much time. I went to the location. They moved locations. It was up the road. I usually overshoot the road, which I did today. Then I got there and found out that they were the other direction up the road. So I went ahead and called them and made sure I had the right address and everything, because the GPS took me someplace else. But called them and got the exact location. I like the old yard a little bit better because it was easier to maneuver. Look at that, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's gonna look really nice. So I like the old yard a little bit better because you can maneuver around it a little bit easier. But I could just sit here and play in mulch all day. I really could. But this one has a nice, beautiful new building, you know, and I'm sure they'll figure it out. But dealing with a little tiny trailer like this, it's not easy to back up, and that's one of the issues. Their color stays really well. That's kind of something I want to talk to you about. If you go to like Walmart or something, you're going to maybe get 1 or 2 weeks worth of color out of these things. This mulch will be a good year and a half, maybe even 2 years before you'll start even noticing a loss of color. This is actually their chocolate color as they make it. They got a black, a dark brown, chocolate, which is what this is. Dark brown's slightly darker than this, and then they also have natural and red. Yeah, I could just sit here and play with mulch all day long. But yeah, that's one of the things you want to find out. You get a good mulch provider that will set you up with some good color. That's one of the key things. Yeah, just look at that. That's beautiful. But we have to get this stuff installed. I can't just sit here and play with it all day. Like I said, I'm running behind, so let's get moving. All right, I'm just going to go through quickly the tools I bring with me. So I got the blower, the wheelbarrow, the 12-tine rake, or whatever that's called. I usually call it a hard rake. I also bring a broom, bedding forks. I usually have 2 of these. I actually have 2 of them with me today. I've used one on the site, the work site, and one in the trailer to scoop mulch. This is another 12-tine rake. I have 2 of those because of the size. This one's bigger than the other one. This one's actually a Cobalt, and I highly recommend, if you guys can get Cobalt tools, go over to Lowe's and use them, because they're guaranteed for life. If you break them, you just bring it back to Lowe's, they give you a new one. So really highly recommend Cobalt tools because of that feature. Poly rake, just in case, and a scoop shovel. And this is mainly not to use on mulch per se to scoop it into the wheelbarrow. It's actually more of a dustpan, so that I can take it and throw it into, clean up the hard surfaces and stuff with the broom. These are nice clean than the blower. I mean, you don't want to be blowing. You use the blower to blow the mulch out of the grass, not to clean the street and blow it into the grass. So that's why I bring all of that stuff. I'm just going to go get to work. All right, it's later in the evening. I couldn't get the camera on in time when I got home. I had to basically shower, get out the door, go to my son's Cub Scout pack meeting, where I got to learn all about popcorn sales. By the way, if you're interested in purchasing popcorn from a Cub Scout, let me know. I can send you a link. Just send me an email, or maybe if I get enough comments about it, I'll just do a video on it and put a link in a description where you can actually go and purchase from him, and it'll support his pack and everything that they do. But just wanted to get you through the aftermath. So we still have the sides on the trailer. I'm going to go ahead, convert this bad boy back into my mowing trailer. I got everything set up, ready to go. But before I go, here is our aftermath. So I'm just going to have to take the sides off, clean out the rest of these tools, sweep up the floor, get as much as I can, and then tomorrow morning I will go ahead, put the mower back on, and we'll be back into the mode of mowing. So, like I said, this is one of the big things with this trailer, why I want to try to keep it, is just how convertible it is. Shouldn't take me too long to get these sides off, and the next time it'll be easier because I'll have stuff already built that I kind of tore apart for some reason or another. But handled well. I also want to take note, just so you know, all right, I'm not trying to rehash a bunch of stuff, but I will have a future video coming up where you might see some of these clips again. So I'm working on a repair video at this exact same time, and well, both these things kind of crossed over on one another. So when you get to the Harbor Freight Tools trailer and you see everything that's going on with the wheel bearing, yeah, you might recognize some of this video. So I guess until then, next time, I'll see you later. Right? I'll see you next time. I gotta get to work. One more thing. So, I've already been trying to come up with ideas on how to improve on this build for the next time. And I just want to let you know that eventually that's usually how a lot of these projects work, is you come up with an idea, then you improve on it, and then you improve on it, and then you improve on it, finally you perfect it. But I just want to let you know, be like the Harbor Freight Tools trailer. Always keep improving yourself. Till next time.